Hi everyone, welcome back to Present Play Storytime. I'm so excited to read to you again today. Today we have the story Apples, Apples, Apples by Nancy Elizabeth Wallace. Alright, let's get started with our welcome song. Here we sit together, together, together. Here we sit together, all of us indoors, at tables, on couches, in bedrooms, on floors. Here we sit together, all of us indoors. Alright, let's get started with the story. Apples, Apples, Apples by Nancy Elizabeth Wallace. One blue sky day in early autumn, Dad asked, "Who wants to go apple picking?" Me, yelled Minna. Me, shouted Pip. Me too, said Mom. Let's go. They walked down the road to the Long Hill orchard. "Glad to see you," said Mr. Miller. "Here are some bags to put your apples in. What kind do you want to pick?" "I want apples for pie," said Dad. "I need apples for crafts," said Mom. "Yum," yelled Pip. "I'm going to pick apples for my snack at school." Minna whispered, "I want apples for a surprise." "Come look at this chart," said Mr. Miller. "It shows the kind of apples we grow in our orchard." And look, they have Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Macintosh, Granny Smith, Rome Beauties. "I can't wait to see the apple trees," said Minna. "Climb aboard," said Mr. Miller. They all climbed into the farm wagon. Mr. Miller started up the tractor. "Hold on," he said. "It's a bumpy ride." The sky was blue and the air smelled crisp and clean. It was a great day for picking apples. When they got to the orchard, there were apples everywhere. Pip tugged on an apple. The limbs shook and lots of apples fell to the ground. Uh-oh. "Try lifting and twisting the apple," said Minna. "Then pull on it gently. I read that in my apple book." "Look, Minna," said Pip. "Lift, twist, pluck. I can do that." Lift, twist, pluck. They all picked and picked and picked. Mr. Miller used a special tool for picking the apples that were hard to reach. He let Minna and Pip have a turn. Then Mr. Miller picked an apple up from the ground. He cut it in half. "It looks like a star inside," said Pip. Minna said, "I think it looks like a flower." "It looks like both a star and a flower," said Mr. Miller. "In fact, apples are a member of a flower family, the rose family." They counted the seeds. "There may be as many as 10 seeds inside an apple," said Mr. Miller. "How many seeds do you see?" "Let's count the seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, said Minna. Mr. Miller cut another apple in half. "A different way. Look at all the parts an apple has," he says. "You can see the stem, the skin, the core, and the flesh." "Did you know that seeds are also called pips?" asked Mr. Miller. Minna pointed at Pip. They both giggled. "Mr. Miller, do you grow trees from seeds?" Milla asked. "Well, apple trees can be grown from seeds." He took pictures from his pocket to show them. "Or they can be grown the way we grow them at Long Hill Orchard. We graft a branch with buds to a rootstock. he showed them more pictures. Here's the pictures, the seeds and the roots and the rootstocks and the grafted branches. Minna and Pip looked at the shiny seeds. "I'll be Johnny Appleseed," said Minna. "I read about him. He planted lots and lots of seeds across America. They grew into apple orchards everywhere." "Look, Minna, I'm Johnny Applepip." When their bags were filled to the top, they rode back down the hill. "Hold on," said Mom. "Whoa!" Minna laughed. "Hold on to your apples." Mr. Miller weighed the bags of fruit so that he would know how much to charge. "Apple picking is fun," said Minna. "So is apple eating," said Dad. When they got home, they had an apple snack. The apples tasted sweet and juicy. Minna looked through her book. "Here it is," she said. "Here's a surprise recipe I wanted us to try." "Time to make Minna's surprise recipe," said Dad. Pip washed the apples. Mom and Minna used a special tool to peel them. Dad sliced them. Oh, look, and there's a recipe right here that I'll include in our little note section. And you all can follow the recipe along. What do we think they're going to make? They put the apples, the maple syrup, the cider, the cinnamon into a big blue pot. Then Mom put it on the top of the stove to simmer. It smelled delicious. When it was ready, Minna spooned it into bowls. "Who wants some?" she asked. Me, said Pip. "Me," said Mom. "Me too," said Dad. And they all said, "Yum! Applesauce!" The end. Great job, everybody, and I'll be sure to link that little applesauce recipe so you can try it at home if you like and you have some extra apples. Well, I have one last song for you all today. It's about Farmer Brown and his 5 red apples. Ready? Farmer Brown had 5 red apples hanging on a tree. Farmer Brown had 5 red apples hanging on a tree. He plucked one out and he ate it hungrily. Yum, 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 yum. Farmer Brown had 4 red apples hanging on a tree. Farmer Brown had 4 red apples hanging on a tree. He plucked one off and he ate it hungrily. Yum, 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 yum. Farmer Brown had 3 red apples hanging on a tree. Farmer Brown had 3 red apples hanging on a tree. He plucked one off and he ate it hungrily. Yum, 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 yum. Farmer Brown had 2 red apples hanging on a tree. Farmer Brown had 2 red apples hanging on a tree. He plucked one off and he ate it hungrily. Yum, 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 yum. Farmer Brown had 1 red apple hanging on a tree. Farmer Brown had 1 red apple hanging on a tree. He plucked one off and he ate it hungrily. Yum, 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 yum. Farmer Brown had no red apples hanging on a tree. Farmer Brown had no red apples hanging on a tree. He plucked none off and he ate none hungrily. Farmer Brad had no red apples hanging on a tree. Thank you all so much for your support. We love doing these story times with you all, and we cannot wait to be back open so that way we can see all of your wonderful smiling faces again. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.